Well, let's bring in Associate Professor Dale Boccabella now. What did you make of the speech?
Look, I'm not a political scientist, but that is an excellent political job of, it's a political hatchet job, there's no question about that. It was a masterful performance in running down the government. The government to some extent deserves to be run down badly, and I think the quotation that Mr Abbott used was 59 times Miss Gillard promised surpluses. To make those promises 59 times in a row was ridiculous.
That's all stuff we've heard before from him, though. What was he talking about that was actually new and telling us, outlining what his plans are?
Well, look, I guess the one that abolishing the carbon tax and the mining tax, I mean, it's pretty old. Two things I think jumped out at me, and that is that he reserves the right to keep objectionable things that were in the budget on Tuesday night. That's having it both ways in a way. So that was a significant thing. We don't know where that's going to go. Look, the one that surprised me is deferring the superannuation guarantee contributions rising up. That's an important social program. There's a lot of support for it. Putting that off for 2 years, a lot of people ought to be a little bit worried about that one. There were some good things, I think. The white papers, I think you mentioned the COAG white paper, making some attempt to fix up this state-federal thing. You know, it's all over the shop at the moment, and that's developed over many years. That might pay dividends down the track.
Now we know that he's got a very simple choice. You'll either have to raise taxes or make some big cuts. Your interest is in tax. Are there any tax areas that you think he might be looking at that we haven't really heard much about?
Well, there will be distaste to go to raising taxes, especially explicit taxes. As I said, he said the objectionable tax rises in Tuesday's budget. Seems to be happy maybe to contemplate keeping those. But look, there's many areas. He has said that he will go to the next election with a tax reform proposal, and they will be coming out of the Henry Review work and that. So that's where he seems to be going. I query whether he's going to go to an election with tax increases. That's number one. But look, there are many areas that weren't looked at. I guess one that jumps to mind is negative gearing. Serious go at that. The open-ended concession on the main residence. I mean, why someone makes a $10 million gain on a main resident on their home? I mean, why should that automatically be outside the system?
Very unpopular though, if you tried to.
Oh yeah, well we know. Yep, that's true.
Home.
The capital gains tax. We've got this 50% discount. You sort of wonder why that is not attacked. The Henry Review did say to scale that back a bit. So there's a lot of areas there, fixing up some of the state, destructive state taxes. The stamp duty jumps out at you there. So look, having said all that, if there's reluctance to go there, what we're going to do is going to be looking at the expenditure side. He's going to be looking, I think, and Joe Hockey has made some comments, I think the future Treasurer probably, about the end of the age of entitlement. So I think people who are receiving money from the government social security area, probably that's where we'll look, I think.
Dale Boccabella, we have to leave it there. Thanks so much for your insight.
Thanks for having me, Bonita.